morning, everyone. Hope everyone is good. Hope everything is great. Hope business is amazing as always. Today, I want to talk about a subject that many startup entrepreneurs are having problem with, and one of them is basically how to create content or manage their social media account. Because think about it, you're a startup, you just start your business, you have capital, or let's say some startups they don't even have capital because they just started through website, or they have an office at an incubator center, or they start their business through social media, which is Instagram account or the LinkedIn or YouTube, so on and so forth. Now, many of them, they are always having a hard time with that. Hey, listen, I don't know how to manage my social media account. I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to create content. I don't know how to work on some design, some ideas. See, I'm an entrepreneur, and I have started a couple of businesses by myself as on the side, and beginning on the side, and now I'm like full-fledged working on them. Basically, I have a company called the Wall Concept, I have the brand concept, I have BizDev consultancy, and I have Tasmeem Express. Each one is different. They are almost in a similar field, but the way I manage it, the way I go around it, the process is different. I've mentioned the Instagram accounts for each business. You can go and check, to go through the content that I have posted or delivered over there or communicated, let's say, and you will understand exactly how each one is communicated differently, how each content is different than the other account, and this is all done by myself. I haven't got anyone's help. And also put in mind, also I have another YouTube channel and a vlogging channel. Basically, it's called Unleash by MA. Check that out also. You'll see it's completely different also. Keeping in mind, this is all managed by me. I create the content, I design the content. Some of the contents are taken from other accounts, for example, Chris Doe, Mel Robbins, so on and so forth. I take their post and I post it in my account, and of course I usually tag them. I tag the person or the company itself. But see, at the end of the day, it's all about content. What content you are delivering? Is it relevant to your business, or to the communication you are trying to put over there, to the promise, to the language, the tone of voice? So that's the whole idea. It does not, to me, it does not matter if you create the content or you take it from someone else and you tag them. You have to tag them, okay? As long as you have a direction in mind and you know what you are trying to portray outside. Now, the question is, many entrepreneurs or business owners have a problem with, how can I create my own content, because I don't have the money to pay social media management agencies and so on and so forth, and it's too expensive, or I cannot afford that at the moment. I will give you a word of advice. I have done it myself. I've been doing it for a couple of years. See, it's all about practice and patience. If you don't have patience, if you don't want to practice, then it's very hard for you to create content. I know a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs, they have really good businesses, but if you go to their account, their Instagram accounts, Facebook, YouTube, there is not much content. It's like you will see for the past 2 years, it's only like 15, 20 posts. That's not enough. As I said, I manage almost 6 accounts by myself. And plus, by the way, I even manage 3 different accounts also. I do social media handling for 3 clients. So I make even money out of that. So it's total almost, you could see almost 10 accounts I handle by myself every week, creating posts, creating content, posting them on different platforms. Now, I will tell you exactly how I learned it, because I'm not a designer. I'm not a designer. People think I'm a designer. I'm not a designer. I have never used Photoshop, never used Illustrator in my life. 3 years back, I have never used them before. I have just been starting using it almost 3 years now. Almost, it's a little bit less than 3 years, because I have been using Photoshop, Illustrator, and software called Filmora. It's video editing software, and I have been doing it all by myself, because in my head I was like, if I want to do something, I have to do it by myself. I cannot be dependent on anyone. I don't have the capital to spend money and get an agency to do it for me every month and pay $1,000 every month, or let's say $800 every month, which is almost Bahraini 250 dinar, 300 dinars Bahraini. And it's not worth it for me. Because I'm a startup. I have few startups. I have to make sure that I don't spend money as much as I am making money. So that's the whole idea. So some of the applications that I use, or the softwares that I use, is Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, which is the best two things that you can use. Adobe Photoshop is really great for coming up with like text and adding some colors to it, and you can get a lot of mock-ups that I purchase actually, or I could get for free from Creative Market, which is an amazing place that you can get a lot of mock-ups. Check it out for Instagram, for different social media platforms. Then I use, of course, for example, Shutterstock and FreePic. I usually use a lot of FreePic because FreePic has a lot of also mock-ups by PSD, which is Photoshop. They have a lot of Illustrator file, like images and designs that you can use, text, icons, and so on and so forth. So it really helped me a lot and building my communication and my content through these platforms. And then I have the other software, which is Adobe Illustrator. Adobe, I don't use Adobe Illustrator as much, but it really helps me in actually getting vector files and trying to change their colors and then adapting it or transferring it to Photoshop so that I get my artwork done based on my mock-up of different social media templates that I have, that I bought from FreePic and Creative Market and so on and so forth. There are a lot of places on, if you just Google it, Adobe Photoshop mock-up, social media mock-ups, and you will get a lot of different sites that you can purchase from. The place that I purchase, again, Creative Market that I purchase, and FreePic. Now the question is how. Now the question is again, how would I learn? How to learn? I learned everything through YouTube, and of course there is an application that you can download. It's called Skillshare. You just need to download basically and just type, hey, listen, I want to learn Photoshop. How to learn Photoshop, how to learn basics Photoshop, how to learn basics of Illustrator. And you have to watch video over and over. Nobody helped me, nobody came to me, I didn't pay money. There are different courses in Bahrain and I think in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, but you have to pay almost like 70 dinar for few sessions and all. It's too expensive. You have YouTube, just get it. I usually have my tablet on my table and my laptop. Adobe Photoshop is open, and basically I just watch, for example, what the person who's on YouTube or Skillshare teaching, and I do the same basically. That's it, and it's very simple. It's very simple. I learned it the hard way. It took me time. It took me a couple of years, and now I know the basics. So I don't need to be dependent on anyone else. So again, YouTube, Skillshare, these are two best places that you can find courses or seminars, or let's say mentors who can help you in actually building your Photoshop and Illustrator skills. Number 3 software that I use for video editing is Filmora. Filmora is amazing. I recommend everyone to use it. You know, even if I don't mean you need to be really professional in what you do, but at least if you learn the basics, it will really help you actually in going to a place, going to a shop. For example, say you have done a project, okay? You go over there, take a few images, some nice and different angles, take nice video shots, and pile them up all and put them in that software, and then use different transitions, text and text openings, titles, and through time you will learn. You know, through time you'll learn. You just need to have that eye of seeing things, of you know, you just need to imagine. How I do it, I imagine, okay, this is how I want my video to become. This is how I need to start. What I do sometimes is also I create like a sketchboard, or you could say a storyboard. So I bring an A4 paper and I draw, let's say I want 10 scenes. So I draw 10 boxes and I write scene number 1, scene number 2, I want this, scene number 3, I want to have a nice transition and with a nice text, scene number 4. So I create like a story, and based on that I will build it. So this is how I do it. So then again, for you to save money, so that because you have a startup, it's very important as a business owner to know exactly how you basically, it's very important for a business owner to know the do's and don'ts, the know-how of how to use Photoshop, Illustrator, and video editing softwares like Filmora I just mentioned, and where are the sources that you can learn from: YouTube, Skillshare. Where are the sources that you can get artworks and mock-ups? Creative Market, Free Pick. So you have, and there are a lot of other places that you can go and find them. I'm just giving examples of what I used. There are a lot more examples, like there's places that you can actually find these content, or let's say these artworks or designs that you can use for your business, so that you can communicate with the public, with your target audience. And keep in mind, it should your communication should always be consistent, should be relevant to what you're doing, and it should be, when I say consistent, it should be always done at the same time, same days, and always you have to post at least a minimum of 3 to 4 contents per day, per communication. But for me, I'm a vlogger. Because I'm a vlogger, I have an account called YouTube Unleashed by Muhammad Awal. Sometimes I do like 20 contents a day. So 20 contents spread all over Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. So sometimes I do that, because to me it's more of a personal thing than a business also. So for me it's a different case. But in your case, as a startup, as a business, you as a business owner, you have to learn how to use these tools, so that you can be self-dependent and not to depend on other companies and agencies, so that you can save a lot of money. And through time, you will learn the skills, and you will enhance your skills, and you will get better at what you're doing. And tomorrow, you never know, you can teach your skills and ideas to your employees, and they can use these ideas and skills to actually build your company. So that's how I do it, and hope you can also one day. You can do it also, but it's very important. You have to have 3 things. Number 1 is you have to keep time for this to learn. And number 3 is patience. And number 2 is patience. And number 3 is the will of doing things, the passion, the process. You should love the process. If you hate doing it, then it's not worth it, because then you will not learn, you will not be eager to learn, and you will not be that creative. But if you're in love with it, and you start doing it, and you're seeing the outcome and you're enjoying it, then definitely it's for you. Thank you.